Okay, so we're actually going to flip this on its head and use this for leasing strategy. Now we're not looking for a tenant. We have an open space and we want to find out which tenants should we put in there as a property owner. So Sibsy Klein is working to fill leases for a mixed-use retail development, actually right down the street from me. They're doing the construction right now. I can hear it every day. You've probably already heard it on the webinar. But we want to understand what types of retail to put in here that would fit and work well for the community. But first, we need to understand which segments show up in those locations to understand which retail would fit well there. So I'm going to do the same thing here, business analyst. We're going to get our map turned off here, and I'm going to jump into that location. So I put a half-mile radius around this location. It's mixed use. No one really drives through where I live, Fort Thomas. So it's probably going to be more of a walkable retail location. And we're just going to pull up what are the top segments in that location. So we're loading the content here. We can see that 27% of the nearby households fall into the Good Life Citizen segment. And because that's so dominant, we're probably going to want to retail our location to fit these people's interests. And to do that, we are going to go to the Persona Live segment sorter. Okay, this is exactly like the brand sorter, except for now we're sorting by segment and not by brand. So all we have to do is go to our visitation. We'll do apparel first, and we want to look up the segment we just saw, Good Life Citizens. And we want to find out what is their top retail affinity. What types of retail should we put that? We sort Z to A, and we see the number one retailer for this segment is Orvis, followed by Gymboree. You can't put a Steinmart in there, way too big, but Athleta would also be a great opportunity there. We can do the same thing here for restaurant if we wanted to. We could sort this by Good Life Citizens, and we see the top restaurant here, Brugger's Bagels, followed by independent coffee and tea restaurants. And so when we go back to recommend tenants for this location, we can go to Orvis and say, based on 117 million devices in the history of their visitation, the population in this location is twice as likely to physically show up at an Orvis if there is an Orvis nearby. So a really quick way to do that. And you can see that for restaurant affinity too. So here's the best restaurants to put into that location.